Late one quiet night, Luna suddenly freezes in the middle of the living room, her tail curled into a question mark, her hackles raised like she just touched a plasma ball, and then she just stares into empty space. The room is silent, the clock is ticking, and Luna's eyes are following something drifting across the plain white wall. That moment alone is enough to give you goosebumps. Is there someone else in this house besides you and your cat? Take a breath. Don't rush to flip on every light just yet. This creepy scene happens in countless cat-loving homes, and it always sparks the same question. Do cats really see ghosts? Or did Luna just pick up on a signal that our human eyes, ears, and whiskers are completely blind to? In today's video, I'm going to open the door to two different worlds. The world of spirituality, from Bastet of ancient Egypt to Bakaneko in Japanese folklore. Why have cats been seen as gatekeepers, standing between the visible and the invisible? And the world of science, where we decode how cats' eyes see through the dark, how their ears pick up the whispering waves of electronics, and how their whiskers read air currents as thin as a strand of thread. By the end of this video, you'll have a 60-second checklist to scan your own room, light, sound, smell, drafts, and all the tiny clues humans usually miss, enough for you to confidently say, Luna is seeing physics, not spirits. And yes, there will be a small moment at the end that makes you both smile and feel like you understand your cat on a whole new level. If you want to decode your cat with your heart, but make decisions based on real data, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell right now, so that tonight, when Luna stares into that corner again, you'll know exactly what to do. Ready to dive in? In Egypt, Bastet, the goddess with the head of a cat, was the protector of the home, grain stores, and childbirth. Her eyes, glowing at night, were believed to borrow the sun's rays of Ra to drive away evil in the darkness. And the way cats controlled mice around the temples turned them into symbols of order and peace. In Japan, when a cat lives long enough, often said to be 40 to 100 years or more, its tail is said to split into two, and it becomes a nekomata, a fierce cat demon, or it transforms into a bakaneko that can speak human language, deceive people, and eat human flesh. In Celtic regions, catseath, a black cat with a white patch, was believed to be able to steal the soul of someone newly deceased, so people in the past would stay up all night by the body with fire and music, guarding the threshold for the dead. The common thread across all cultures is the intuition of cats. They patiently sit at doorways, on windowsills, at hallway corners, those in-between places, and follow something invisible with their eyes, ears, and whiskers. Over thousands of years, cats were given the role of guarding the borders between light and dark, life and death, visible and invisible. However, modern science offers a different perspective that clears cats of suspicion. The issue isn't about ghosts, but about the hazy gap between what human eyes can see and what a cat's senses actually perceive. Luna freezing in front of a corner, Luna stalking the air and then shooting across the room. You're confused, and social media only throws more fuel on the fire. The result? The owner loses sleep, and the cat, well, gets misunderstood. Tonight, you'll understand clearly why a cat like Luna, or the cat in your home, behaves so strangely. We'll analyze both scientific explanations and folk legends to find the answer. After this video, you'll walk away with some seriously cool cat science and feel more at ease when your cat shows odd behavior. You won't have to torture yourself all night wondering, is my cat really seeing a ghost? Anymore. One, sudden startle, shield up in 1 second. You're walking through the living room when Milo suddenly jerks like he's been shocked. The fur along his spine stands straight up, his back arches into a curve, his pupils blow up like 2 ink drops. He lets out a faint hiss, then darts to the side. There's no one in the house but you. Nothing visible is moving, and yet his whole body just activated the full armor suit of a cautious predator. On the sensory level, this is a perfectly normal startle reflex. A cat's ears catch extremely delicate frequencies. The hiss of a faulty outlet, the tiny hum from a charger, a very soft ticking inside a pipe, or even footsteps down a hallway leaking through the door gap. A cat's eyes are tuned for ultra-small movements, a speck of dust passing through a beam of light, the shadow of an insect skimming a wall, or a small reflection from a TV in sleep mode. Whiskers and paw pads add extra data. They read micro air currents and floor vibrations that humans completely miss. Together, all of that turns into a sudden ping on Milo's radar. Something just entered the territory. In rumors and ghost stories, that moment often gets labeled as a spirit or something invisible. But here, science wins. He simply detected a tiny environmental trigger, sound, light, draft, vibration, that our human ears and eyes aren't sensitive enough to pick up. To a cat, better safe than sorry. Throwing up the shield and dodging away is the fastest way to stay safe before going back to investigate. What you can do tonight: gently call his name, give him a slow blink once, and stand still so he can reassess the situation. Turn off unplugged devices one by one: chargers, dimmable desk lamp, TV on standby, mini fridge, and listen to see whether the room still has any hiss or hum sounds. Close curtains to cut reflections, dust around lights and TV. Floating dust is the perfect bait for cat eyes. Play a short hunting game for 5 to 7 minutes with a clear catch at the end, and reward with 1 to 2 treats or a spoonful of wet food so he can shift into all good now mode. 2. Staring into nothing. Your cat's sixth screen. One quiet afternoon, you're typing away on your laptop when Garfield suddenly sits bolt upright like a statue, slightly tilts his head, his eyes opening so wide that you can almost hear the silence. His gaze slides along the white wall and stops at the corner of the ceiling. No blinking, no movement. That moment is enough to send chills up any adult's spine. What on earth is he looking at? In reality, Garfield is turning on his sixth screen, a finely tuned blend of eyes, ears, and whiskers. Cat eyes are built for reading the dark. The tapetum lucidum, that reflective layer behind the retina, sends light back through the photoreceptors, making tiny movements like dust floating through a beam of light, a small insect wing passing near the wall, or a stray reflection from a TV in sleep mode stand out like invitations. Some surfaces or cleaning products even leave patterns in reflections that fall outside the visual taste of humans. To cats, they're bold visual signals. At the same time, Garfield's ears are sweeping the high-frequency band, the thin hiss of a charger, the subtle hum from a TV on standby, the tiny tapping of insects behind wood panels. His whiskers are reading the faintest air currents, telling him something just passed through that empty space. All of that combines into a spot worth guarding inside his territory. Not a ghost, just data. To help Garfield turn off the screen safely and gently, you don't need charms or spells, just a few down-to-earth adjustments. Turn off individual light sources and see what changes. Then adjust curtains to redirect light and dust around lights and screens. Dust is the background actor in almost every staring scene. If you suspect flickering lights are bothering him, switch to bulbs with less flicker or use indirect lighting. Then unplug adapters, speakers, TV, and standby, one by one, to see if the room becomes less hummy. Sometimes a single low-quality socket is enough to turn your wall into a film set. Finally, block window and door gaps and rotate beds and food bowls out of direct air conditioner drafts. Once everything is calmer, invite him to a 5 to 7 minute hunting session with a clear catch and a spoonful of wet food. The little ritual helps his brain switch from guard duty to hunt complete. Time to relax. Long-term, give Garfield a high vantage point where he can survey the room instead of having to stare down every corner. Choose less reflective surfaces where he usually rests his gaze. And keep a steady play, eat, sleep routine, especially around the times he tends to go on watch. Of course, sometimes the fascinating wall isn't just about light games. If you see Garfield pressing his head against the wall, stumbling, uneven pupils, the third eyelid showing longer than usual, or clusters of fly-biting episodes that repeat frequently with confusion afterwards, record a 30 to 60-second video and take him to the vet. Those signs belong to medicine, not mythology.
3. Catching invisible flies when the air turns into prey. Out of nowhere, Dom suddenly flicks his paw in a circle in the air, snaps lightly at something, then licks his lips and swallows, eyes sparkling as he tracks something you can't see at all. 1 beat, 2 beats, tail curled into a determined S shape, as if an invisible fly is looping right in front of his nose. The scene is both funny and mysterious, and you can't help wondering, is he just playing, or is something uncomfortable going on? Most of the time, the truth is simpler than we think. A cat's predator brain is programmed to explode into action from very small cues: dust sparkling in a beam of light, a thin reflective streak on the wall, a tiny insect wing flicking near the curtain, or even a small breeze nudging a fallen hair. Eyes read motion, ears catch the high-pitched whir of electronics on standby, and whiskers feel airflows as light as a thread. When those 3 channels shake hands, empty air suddenly has shape and volume, enough for Dom to fire off the whole sequence: target, pounce test, bite to confirm. But not every air bite is just a shadow game. Sometimes it's your cat's body complaining. Discomfort in the mouth, teeth, gums, or tongue can make a cat snap or swallow to push away a weird sensation. A mildly upset or refluxing stomach can lead to repeated lip-licking and swallowing. And more rarely, localized seizures can show up as clustered fly-biting episodes with tiny twitches in the face, a brief glazed look, and then a few seconds of confusion. The key is context. If Dom only snaps a few times in a patch of pretty light and then goes right back to washing his face, it's probably a mini hunt. If the behavior is frequent, clustered, and paired with discomfort, it needs attention. What you can do tonight without any charms. First, turn off the stage. Reduce harsh or flickering light sources, shift curtains to change the angle of light, and dust lamps and screens. Dust really is the background actor in most staring scenes. Unplug adapters, speakers, or TV and standby one by one to see if the room still hums. A single poor quality outlet can be enough to trigger Dom's urge to hunt the air. If the AC is blowing straight into his eating or sleeping area, move bowls and beds into calmer air. When things stop flashing, invite Dom to a hunt with an ending. Use a wand toy for 3 to 5 minutes, let him actually catch the prey, then offer a spoonful of wet food. That small ritual helps his brain shift from on guard to hunt complete, safe to relax. 4. 3 a.m. Zoomies, the predator's dawn shift. You're drifting off to sleep when you hear whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Oscar rockets down the hallway, drifts around the chair, launches onto the seat, and lands on the rug as cleanly as a parkour athlete. 10 seconds of silence, then another lap, even faster and tighter, leaving you clutching your pillow thinking, buddy, it's 3 a.m. Don't rush to call it possession. For cats, this is fraps, those sudden bursts of energy that are totally normal when a cat's inner clock rings right at the border of dusk and dawn. If your cat hasn't had enough activity during the day and hasn't had a proper hunt session, energy stacks up like a compressed spring. A sliver of light under the curtain, a sigh from the water pipes, or the scent of a night insect brushing the window is enough to put Oscar on shift. By nature, Zoomies aren't a disorder. They're a mini survival ritual. Stalk, chase, take down, eat, groom, sleep. When we let a cat's brain run through this sequence, the burst fades on its own. The method is very ordinary. Before bedtime, spend 5 to 7 minutes on a structured hunt with a wand toy or feather toy. Vary the speed like real prey, let him miss a couple of times to build excitement, then make sure there's a final catch so his brain can log the success. Right after that, serve a spoonful of wet food, just enough to close the hunt-eat loop and signal to his body, job done, time to relax. If your household often gets the feline alarm clock at dawn, an automatic feeder dispensing a mini portion between 2 and 4 a.m. can quickly cut down the habit of waking you up.
The rest is about stage safety. Put away fragile items, secure slippery rugs, and trim claws so any night race is safer. Turn on a soft background noise, fan or white noise, at a very low level to mask tiny hum sounds that can trigger zoomies. During the day, enrich the environment. A tall perch, a few soft climbing paths, cozy hiding spots, and cat TV at a safe window. And remember the golden rule. Don't accidentally reward the behavior of waking you up. If every time Oscar touches you, you jump up to feed or play, he'll train you very quickly. Shift all rewards to pre-bedtime and let nighttime be a period with one clear message. Silence equals no show. Of course, sometimes zoomies are actually a health message in disguise. Be on guard if the energy bursts come with persistent loud vocalizing, ongoing restlessness, weight loss, or an unusually big appetite. Especially in older cats, think hyperthyroidism or hypertension. If Oscar pants, breathes fast, coughs, limps, or seems painful when touched, consider asthma, joint pain, or injury. Signs like confusion, getting lost in the house, flipped sleep-wake cycles, or bumping into corners may hint at cognitive decline or neurological issues. In any worrying situation, record a 30 to 60-second video and see a vet. That's the fastest, most accurate clue for diagnosis.
Magic flickering lights, when light whispers what human eyes can't hear. Some quiet nights, you turn on a desk lamp to read, and Felix quietly sidesteps, squints, and avoids walking through the patch of light on the floor. To you, that lamp seems completely normal. To Felix, it may be a rainstorm of tiny flickers, on-off pulses at very high frequency that humans mostly ignore, but a cat's visual system sees all too clearly. Why might a simple lamp be annoying in a cat's eyes? Many cheap LEDs and dimmers adjust brightness by switching on and off extremely fast, PWM. Humans see one steady light source, but for a species optimized to detect movement in darkness, that flicker looks like thick visual noise, eye strain, glare, and discomfort. Add reflective surfaces like glass, picture frames, or semi-gloss paint that break that light into spots, and the wall in Felix's eyes turns into a field of dancing bright dots, something to stay away from. What you can do tonight. Do a 30-second flicker test. Open your phone camera, switch to slow motion, and sweep across each light source. If you see moving stripes or obvious flicker in the footage, that bulb is likely uncomfortable for cats. Reduce glare and flicker in your home. Prioritize bulbs marketed as flicker-free or with a stable DC driver. Avoid very cheap, unstable bulbs when possible. Clear out the background actor named dust. Wipe dust off lamps, TVs, and glass frames. Floating dust is perfect material for flicker to turn into a fake motion. Redraw Felix's walking route. Place his bed and bowls in areas with soft, steady light. Set up a pathway where he doesn't have to cross sharp light beams. If Felix seems restless, give him a short 5 to 7 minute hunt with a guaranteed catch, then a spoonful of wet food. The hunt-eat ritual helps his brain shift from alert to relaxed. Number 6. Flehmen, the cat's scent smile. Sometimes you've just put your shoes down by the door and Tom walks over, takes a very formal sniff, then slightly opens his mouth, curling his upper lip, his eyes half closed, as if he's giving a mysterious smile. He's not judging you. That moment is called Flehmen, a kind of smelling with the mouth that looks funny but is incredibly sophisticated. What's happening inside that smile? In a cat's palate, there's the Jacobson organ, VNO, a special scent reader connected to the olfactory system. When the upper lip curls, Tom pumps air through tiny ducts in the roof of his mouth, sending pheromones and low-volatility scent molecules into the VNO to decode. That's the social news feed of the feline world. Who just walked across this rug, male or female, relaxed or stressed, and even where they came from. Street smells, other animals, new wood, all of that is a scent message. For Tom, shoes, freshly washed coats, unusual corners, or a newly changed litter box are all invitations to read scent mails. It's not a sign of disgust, it's deep concentration. He's updating the scent map of his territory and deciding whether to mark, inspect more, or ignore. In short, Flehmen is how Tom checks his email at home. What you can do tonight: gentle and effective. Neutralize smells in the right spot, the right way. If Tom keeps smiling tight-lipped at one fixed area while sniffing close to the floor, consider an enzymatic cleaner with little to no fragrance to erase old scent marks. Avoid heavily perfumed products because cats may flag those as warning signals. Keep familiar scents, reduce harsh ones. Avoid strong essential oils or air fresheners around eating and sleeping zones, and place a blanket or bed that smells like Tom himself in his resting area as a scent anchor to help him feel secure. Introduce new items with scent etiquette. For every new thing, rug, chair, blanket, give your cat 1 to 2 minutes to explore and sniff before full use. Too many new smells at once can easily make him wary. In multi-cat homes, try scent swapping. Switch blankets, gently rub each cat's cheek scent onto a cloth, and swap them so they can meet by smell before meeting face-to-face. Make sniffing fun. Hide a few safe treats in unscented paper, or use good quality catnip or silvervine so he can read scents in a positive, voluntary way. Not all cats react to catnip. That's normal. Number 7, the forbidden room. When a room becomes off-limits for very ordinary reasons. Yesterday, Loki was casually hopping onto the office windowsill to watch birds. Today, the moment he reaches the doorway, he turns around as if he's hit an invisible wall. No growling, no panic, just a firm refusal to go in. It's easy for us to jump to mystical explanations, but for cats, the reasons are usually very down to earth. A thin draft brushing the whiskers, a faint hum behind the wall, or a flickering light at a frequency human eyes can't detect. Why does a room suddenly turn into a no-go zone? Most of it comes from discomfort that humans overlook. Flickering light or shiny surfaces create dancing reflections that make the wall feel like a rapidly flashing screen. Tiny sounds, whining from adapters, a TV on standby, a mini fridge fan, insects or mice in the wall all fall squarely inside a cat's hearing range. Whiskers read fine air currents from the AC or under the door, turning a pathway into an open corridor a cat prefers to avoid. Scent has its own power. Strong cleaning products, new objects with heavy smells, or old tense scent marks not fully cleaned up all make Loki cautious. Finally, there is memory. If he was ever restrained for a nail trim, medicated, or scared by a falling object in that room, his brain tags it as unsafe. A 15-minute unlocking script to invite your cat back into the room. Scan the 4 factors: light, sound, drafts, and smell. Use your phone in slow motion to check each light source. If it flickers in the footage, that bulb is likely uncomfortable for cats. Unplug adapters one by one. Turn off TVs, speakers, and standby, and place rubber pads under vibrating devices to reduce hum. Add weather stripping around the door frame, block the gap under the door, and redirect the AC away from the floor and the doorway. Use unscented enzymatic cleaner on hot spots, and avoid strong essential oils or heavy air fresheners. Give control back to your cat. Clear the pathway, add a non-slip rug at sharp turns, place a perch so he can survey the entire room, and always provide 2 exit routes, for example, the doorway and under the desk. When a cat sees an exit route, he's far more willing to step in. Drop a familiar scent anchor. Place a blanket or bed that smells like Loki just inside the doorway. The message is, this is still your territory.
If we explain cats seeing ghosts through science, you'll see it's really just a perfectly tuned sensor system at work. A cat's eyes are optimized for darkness. The retina is rich in rod cells that detect ultra-small movements, and the tapetum lucidum layer behind it reflects light back like a thin mirror, making a single sparkling dust mote or the shadow of an insect near the wall stand out clearly. Their wide field of view and high sensitivity to flicker turn a blank wall to human eyes into a lively stage for a cat. At the same time, the ears swivel independently like antennas, picking up very high frequencies, up to around 64 kilohertz. The hum of an old adapter, the thin hiss of a TV on standby, distant footsteps in the hallway, all count as valid signals. Whiskers, vibrissae, are mechanical sensors. They read micro air currents, pressure changes, and the distance to surfaces, helping the brain build a 3D map of the room even in low light. On top of that, a powerful sense of smell combined with the Jacobson's organ, VNO, lets them read low volatility scent molecules and pheromones, those scent emails that are invisible to us. Some evidence even suggests cats are sensitive to geomagnetic cues, helping with subtle orientation, not mystical, just clever biology. When tiny light changes, plus ultra-soft sounds, plus faint drafts, plus unfamiliar smells all converge, spooky behaviors show up. Staring, sudden startle, stalking a corner. In reality, that's just the senses doing their job. Once you understand this principle, you can calmly run through your checklist. Check for light flicker, unplug noisy devices, block drafts, clean up smells properly, and finish with a hunt with an ending, so your cat's brain can power down the system. A gentle reminder: if these behaviors come with red flags, abnormal eyes, open mouth breathing, clusters of fly biting with confusion afterward, not eating for more than 24 hours, straining to pee or peeing in odd places, record a 30 to 60 second video and get your cat to the vet as soon as you can. In the end, the mystery of cats seeing ghosts turns out to be gentler than we thought. It's not the spirit world, but the micro world. A sparkling dust mote, a thin hum like a strand of thread, a light breeze gliding past the whiskers, all combining into a performance where Luna, Oscar, or Milo is the sharpest audience member. And because of that, cats remind us that even in this ordinary home, there are still little miracles if you know how to look. From now on, when your cat stares into a corner, you won't be frantic anymore. You'll calmly switch off an extra light source, unplug an old adapter, block a draft, then invite your cat to hunt for 5 to 7 minutes and finish with a spoonful of wet food. These small rituals, repeated steadily, can turn a spooky moment into a bonding moment where knowledge and love walk side by side. Share in the comments a moment with your boss at home that once gave you chills, but now you've decoded. If you try the slow motion test on your lights, tell me what you discover. And if you have other stage cleaning tricks, share them so every household can try. If you find this video helpful, hit like plus subscribe so every week I can send you a story that's both heartwarming and scientific enough for your little royal. A gentle reminder, our team has a veterinarian on board. If your Royal Highness shows strange signs or red flags, abnormal eyes, open mouth breathing, clusters of fly biting with confusion afterward, not eating for more than 24 hours, straining to pee or peeing in odd places, leave a comment or a message. We'll take a look and support you as soon as we can. In an emergency, please take your cat to the clinic right away. Tonight, when you turn off an extra light and leave on a warm night light, give Luna a slow blink. Everything's under control now, and let your cat and the calm take over.